Here
Good
we
morning.
are.
It is the Going On Daily Live Morning Show. Oh, looky. This is different, right?
Yeah,
It's Saturday. It's not Ira and Lana. I
it
get
is
the
not.
pleasure of sitting in place of the ailing Ira Mark. Hope he feels better, and we'll see him next week, of course. Of course. This is his
Mm-hmm.
spot. It's his seat.
You're certain on it.
So I got big shoes to fill, for a Saturday, but I'm bringing it, Lena. I'm bringing it.
I think you'll bring it.
Yeah,
And the pleasure's all mine, Ron.
yeah.
You know.
So we got a great show coming for you.
Mm-hmm.
I think you got like a little bit of health stuff going, right? This sort
Health
of.
information.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Information on it. Just interesting information.
We've got some animal talk today. I'm guessing, because
Yeah.
Lena likes to throw curveballs. You know,
Yes. I
so
actually thought I sent you stuff that was easy today, but I guess not. I thought for sure you
yeah,
would
well,
just go the usual. Yeah.
the back of my mind, I'm a little weary of
Yeah.
what the topics are, but
I do be
wolves.
doing that. I do.
So, we got some celebrity birthdays, and these are big. These are big ones,
Wow.
and
Big
we
celebrities.
have some history coming.
Mm-hmm.
Music history,
Very cool.
and Lena, I know you're big in the music industry,
Mm-hmm.
and let's see if you know these things.
I'm not big in it, but I'm big into it.
Don't sell yourself short.
Okay.
Fantastic. Which,
Mm-hmm.
you know, you DJ all over the place, right?
Mm-hmm. I do.
So you got some places you're gonna be. Maybe some of the fans out there might wanna check it out.
So, I can push with certainty that tomorrow I'll be in Newport. If anybody is in Rhode Island that's watching this,
I'm in Rhode Island.
you are. I know you are, but I don't know who else is. But yeah, I'll be down in Newport at the Vanderbilt on the rooftop. So that'll be tomorrow
The
between 5 and 8.
Vanderbilt.
Yeah,
Okay. All
and
right. So get out there.
yeah.
Like I know Tony's in Rhode Island as well.
Hmm.
Mr. Tony Jones. So let's get out there. Let's get out there.
Yes.
Look, we got a lot of changes that have happened lately. And I apologize for those fans that might be a little lost right now. Like Danny, hasn't been, on the show this week,
Hmm.
visiting and chatting with us. So he normally watches us on Facebook.
Yeah.
And our Facebook got zucked.
It's funny. I went to share it and I realized, oh wait a minute, it's not there.
10,000 fans are right now upset. They're upset.
Yeah.
So,
So
and
weird.
rightfully so, we're trying to fix the problem, which there is only one problem, and that is Mark. But mark
Hmm.
my words, we will return.
Yeah. Yeah.
But so we'll go through what we can and cannot do. And you can watch us live here on YouTube and Kick at Rhode Island Broadcasting. So YouTube mainstay, get on there, subscribe, click that little bell so you always know we go live. We have no issues with YouTube, so they are wonderful to us. You can also watch us live on Twitch at RI_broadcasting, and we love our Twitchers, let me tell you. So get on there. You can subscribe there, and it helps so much. It helps support the show. And you can also send us bits, which are only a penny. They're a penny a piece. Send us a
Yeah.
couple of bits so we can put our 2 cents in.
Definitely easy enough.
Simple. Simple. So, also,
Hmm.
after the show is done live, we put it up on these fine channels. Spotify, you can actually watch us the video. You can watch the video
I know that's
of us.
so cool that they're doing that.
I love it.
Hmm.
it's there as well, so you can watch us or just turn it on and listen to us like normal. And you can also find us on U42.
You're starting to go into territory of things I don't even know of.
Yes,
You're speaking
yes.
of things that I know nothing about.
And Odyssey, which I'm trying to get it connected to YouTube because it
Hmm.
actually mirrors YouTube. The problem is there's like over 2,000 shows that are on
Oh yeah.
YouTube. So it's literally taking us, this is now 24 hours. And it's still
Wow.
not done yet.
Yeah, I can
so,
imagine. That
so
makes
I
sense.
don't
It's a
know
lot of
how long it's
media.
going to take. Could be days.
Yep. But it'll get there when it gets there. Right? All we can
Yeah,
do
but
is
I will,
wait. We
yeah, I'll
wait.
upload the show,
Hmm.
some point in the afternoon, so you'll be able to watch it. You can also listen to us on Red Circle, which I want to promote this because Red Circle, you can give donations to us, so it
Oh
helps
well.
us. Yeah, it's great. So we
Now
put
what?
the show up
I'll
there.
find it later, but I'm not even sure what Red Circle is. Again, you're now going
Red
into territory that
Circle is to listen to podcasts.
it's a new thing, huh? All right.
So you can do that. Just go on if you want to listen to us and you
Hmm.
don't want to see our beautiful faces,
That's fair.
which I don't know why you would want to do that. But
Eh,
in,
hey.
in case you're like at work and you can only listen,
Yep.
get on Red Circle.
Or in the car. I mean, you definitely don't want to watch video in the car. I
Right,
mean,
yeah, you don't
that's
want to
yeah,
watch videos in the car. So
that
you
would be
can
not
listen
good.
to us right in your car. Just put it
Hmm.
on at Red Circle at RI Broadcasting. And if you like the show, just throw a donation. It could be a penny. I don't care.
Give
Everything
us
helps.
whatever you
It
can.
keeps the lights on.
Yeah.
So, and then of course the social media part of it, where you can just drop a message or you see the links to our shows or whatever it may be, can
Hmm.
always chime in on everything. MeWe, TikTok, LinkedIn. We are on LinkedIn as well. Blue Sky, Space Hay, and of course Patreon at RI Broadcasting, where you can get these fine mugs.
That's a lot. I mean,
It is a lot.
do you think people were able to get all of that down? I mean, that's just a lot to
Well, they can
process right
always
there.
they can always pause if they're
That's
watching
true.
it later and just jot it down. Oh, I'm on all these too, and
Yeah.
join us. Look,
Yep.
I like listening to the people,
But you want to
and
make
of
sure you
course
catch
we have
every last one of them, right?
yes, everyone got to enjoy the show. You got to enjoy it, and of course
Hmm.
Twitter/X. I don't know what it'll be called once Mr. Musk leaves. So but for now, that's what we got, and it's
Yep.
at Broadcasting
It'll always
RI.
be Twitter. I think everybody will still call it Twitter
Yeah,
forever.
I don't call it X. It's stupid.
Right.
So there's that. That's how you can find us. Episode 119 of season 2 already, Lana.
Wow.
And it's named Flying Without Wings.
I can't wait to find out what that means.
It will be
I'm
part
just
of
I'm just
some
as
segment.
intrigued as the everybody out there watching.
Oh, isn't this a clue?
Maybe if I
Ruben?
oh
Ruben stuttered?
I honestly couldn't see. That's so small that I couldn't even see what that was. I could
Yeah.
only. Oh, I
But
think I. All right.
anybody's watching it on a big screen, right?
Yeah.
They
See,
can
that's
watch
the
us
thing.
on their smart TVs. Just go to YouTube, right? And it's nice, big. So they're seeing Ruben. He's
Yeah,
big.
I have an eight. I gotta say, I have an 85 at home, which I love, and it's like shut all my lights off. It literally is like being in a theater. And when I watch these, it's just amazing, right? I see
Yeah.
every pore of everybody's face.
Oh boy.
Yeah, it's a little bit real, but that's what I want, so I'm happy with it. And it's pretty good on a 80 plus inch flat screen.
A big screen.
Yeah,
And you don't need to go to the movies at that point.
I know. I actually don't want to go to the movies ever. The only reason I don't like the movies is because other people seem to be there a lot,
Oh, I hate when
which
other
is
people are there.
I
That's why I
know.
like going at like midnight.
Yeah, I like to kind of go if I can. With my schedule, it's tough, but just to kind of go at like 2 in the afternoon on a weekday or something, like a matinee. That's my favorite thing because I don't.
Oh yeah, during the week. when everybody's
Yeah.
at school, but now kids are going to be home.
No, now it's true. No, it's true. It's gonna be, and what the hotter it gets in the summer, for at least for this area, that's a kind of an activity for people in the dead of summer because of the air
Yeah, because you go
conditioning.
into the AC.
But yeah, I really want to be at the as early as possible, or as like where there's the least amount of people as possible. I love a theater myself. I really do.
What, 2 weeks is Jurassic World Rebirth?
Yeah, I don't think it's every year. I go see those if I can at the IMAXs, or the 3D. If I can see it in 3D, I will. That's my big treat. I think 2 years ago on my birthday, the last one, or 3 years ago, whatever it was, I went down to the IMAX. We have an IMAX in our downtown
Yeah.
mall.
I do live in
That
Rhode
was so
Island.
cool. No, no, I'm not. I'm not. I'm talking to whoever might be
Oh, you're
watching.
telling everybody
I know
else.
you know
Okay.
what it is, but if I start talking Rhode Island, everybody's gonna go, "What the heck are they talking about?" If I just say, "Hey, Providence Place Mall IMAX," but
Yeah.
that's where I went by myself. I buy one ticket, sit in the middle, like close enough that it's good, but not too close, and just enjoy
Yeah, I like
it.
sitting in the back row so nobody's behind me.
Yeah,
I
it
don't like
depends.
people
If I
behind
have
me.
the
I
whole
don't like
theater to
not being able
myself,
to
then I
see.
don't care. If I have the whole theater to myself, I'll sit closer. I always will. I'll try to. And you can go now on some of them. I don't know about everybody, but some of them you can go online and like see who's bought seats, because
Oh,
people
yeah.
can now buy this. It didn't used
Yeah.
to be like that. It just used to be like a free for all. But
I
now
like that
you can
because
see
you
it.
don't have to sit next to people.
Right. So that's the thing. You can kind of say, "Oh, look at this. This is kind of an empty theater. Kind of not a lot of people are going to be there for this one."
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
yeah,
that's what I look for that as well.
theater
You know,
hacks. You know
that's
what I'm
why,
saying?
when you get a movie that's out, say like Ballerina,
Mm-hmm.
lots of violence, body count is up around
No
400.
idea what that is, but now I'm gonna go look it up later.
It's just, it's like it's in the John Wick universe.
Oh, okay.
So lots of dead bodies, right?
Yep.
I love when those movies come out at the same time as children's movies
Yeah.
because nobody's going to see those because they brought their kids to the movies and
Yes.
to watch like Lilo and Stitch or whatever it may be, right?
Right. Right.
So I like when they come out at that time because then all right, everybody's going to see this movie.
Yeah.
So I'll be able to go and there'll be nobody in there. And there was only
Yes.
one other person in the theater besides me and my friend. One person.
Did you go over there and ask him, "Hey, what are you doing here? Get out. Can you leave?"
No, but I did say, hey, thanks for stopping by.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like it was my own house.
That's what honest to God, I love an empty theater. I love an empty plane. Don't get me started about red eyes with nobody on them. I love a whole plane to myself. I'm so excited about that. But what did I want to say? What I'm looking forward to watching in my living room with the lights out very soon? Sinners. I can't wait. I heard it's so good.
I
Heard
heard
it's
it
so
was
good.
good.
So
I
I
don't go
can't wait
see.
to. Yeah.
I never go see horror movies anymore because they tend to disappoint.
I know that, but I'm not going to. I'm gonna watch it at my house.
Right,
That's
right,
why.
and
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
why I do watch them at at my house
Yeah.
all the time. I actually am going through the alphabet and picking a movie.
Oh yeah, that's right. I saw that.
Uh,
What letter are you
I
on?
made it up to J so far, and I
Oh.
watched Jaws, and
Yeah,
I
of
couldn't
course.
help myself, but I watched Jaws too.
Okay.
So those are the only two good ones in the
Yeah.
series. The rest of them are
Don't watch
bad.
4. We still joke about 4 to this day.
Oh
It's
my
this
god,
time
it's
it's
awful.
personal.
Oh,
And I
I
think
know, I
the
know.
3 was 3D, right? Or something.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
they tried to pawn that one
I don't
off
like
on us.
sequels too much. I'm not a fan of them. But anyway,
No, I mean there are some good ones, but most of them never
there are a
live up to
couple.
the.
There's 3 or 4 really good sequels. And most of them are probably James Cameron movies. you know, definitely Aliens. Definitely Terminator.
They have a new Aliens TV show coming.
Oh, I don't.
Ridley Scott is doing it too.
Wow. Okay. I don't like. I just want people to leave movies alone. I don't like movies that turn into
It
shows.
looks good. I'm
Although I
gonna
did
check
like
it
The
out.
Handmaid's Tale. I got to give it to them. They made a good show out of that movie. So I got to say, in that case, it's different.
Yeah, I
But
have that. It's up on my queued thing, and
oh,
I just haven't had a chance to
it's so good.
do it.
And even if you're a guy, it's good. Although you would think that you're a guy that you would like not like the content, But when I tell you that there is dystopian nonsense going on and murdering and it's graphic, it's
Good. That's what
gross,
I
it's
like.
ridiculous. So yeah, if you're a guy and you've been waiting on Handmaid's Tale, start watching it. Like it literally will shock you. I actually have guy friends that have were like I didn't think I could watch it anymore. I had to shut it off. Like this is what I'm saying. So it's
Wow.
pretty good. It's pretty good.
Okay. I
Yeah,
better start it then.
you should. You should start it. Then you should
All
keep me
right.
posted. Yes.
Yes. Speaking of starting, I'm
Yes.
guessing
Should
we
we do
should
that?
probably actually start the show.
Sure.
16
Why
minutes
not?
in, and we're just bantering away.
Yeah. Well, I
So,
mean,
all right.
it
So let's
works.
get into this. We have 81 milligrams.
Yeah. So what did you think that meant when I gave that to you?
Well, obviously, I thought
Yeah.
of Bayer.
Okay. And I mean, a side note on Bayer. Bayer is Monsanto. That's all I'm gonna say. So I don't buy Bayer anymore. I don't buy anything by them, because they are the same company. I don't know if you remember that or you saw that or anything like that, but they took on the name Bayer to get rid of the stigma of being Monsanto. So I
Oh,
don't buy their products. So I will buy a St. Joseph's. I'm good with the St. Joseph's.
oh, Saint. I used
Yeah,
to take Saint Joseph's when I was young.
yeah.
Way,
I
way,
still have
way,
them.
way back.
I think probably most. I mean, these are the only kind of aspirin that are like aspirin that children can take. There's only a couple of brands that you could buy like that. And St. Joseph's is old, reliable for me. So,
Yeah, yeah.
so anyway, according to a source called Midday, here's me, the weirdo that I am, that I just sit and watch. So I'll see something or somebody will say something, and I'll go, "Why is that what it is?" I'm like one of those kids, So I always wondered why 81 milligrams was so specific. Like, what
Yeah, yeah. I was
makes
wondering that too,
what is
actually.
it? Like, why isn't it
Why
82?
not
Like, why
80?
isn't it 80? What? Like, yeah, it just always made me weird. So I'm like, all right, what's the story behind this? And I found it interesting. Now, you might find it boring, but I thought it was interesting. The truth behind 81 milligrams can be traced back to what the British and the French loved to drink when the sun set, a nice, well aged whiskey. So we'll start with whiskey, which I'm sure everybody will be agreeing with that. Specifically, it goes back to the
I like
grain most
whiskey.
popular among Scots and Irish in the Middle Ages for brewing whiskey, which is barley corn. I'm gonna take you on a
Okay.
ride here. They were so nuts about barley corn grains that apothecaries, I can never say that word, or
Yep.
pharmacies, in plain English, they based their system of weights and measures on barley corn for a very long time.
Huh.
So the basic unit of weight was a single grain of barley corn, unsurprisingly called a grain and abbreviated to GR dot. In modern times, a grain would be 64.8 grams, right? In England, 20 grains equaled one scruple, and that's not a reflection of moral standards or doctor or patient practices. It was a literal scruple, was a
So if you don't
measurement.
have scruples, it meant that you were broke.
Nope, it was actually used as a unit of measurement, which is another thing. I'm sure you could go crazy over the word scruples and go back into the history of that, but we won't do it. So the French, never a nation to follow the British, meekly decided that in their country, 24 grains, not 20, would be one scruple. They decided it, right? So here we are so far. You following me? So in both countries, three scruples made a dram, DRAM, right? So 8 drams
Grand, yeah.
made an ounce, and 12 ounces made a pound. So this is English or European measurements, right?
Right.
So the British decided the whiskey grain could also be used to define lengths for whatever reason, right? So they lined up
Okay.
three medium-sized barley corn grains end to end, and they thought an inch might be a nice name for it. Fortunately, the barley corn inch was more or less equal to the inch as we know it today, right? So hopefully, luckily, we didn't have to do much of an adjustment there. In 1790, French scientists upset the apple cart, coming up with a new measurement protocol, the metric system, which we kind of know. So the kilogram was defined as the mass of 1 cubic decimeter. Yes, if you're not a math person, I would suggest that you write this down. No, I'm just kidding. Of water at 4. So all right, of water at 4 degrees Celsius. Pretty soon, England went metric as well. So the apothecary system refused to go away, though, after that. After repeated outcries from physicians, both systems were deemed legal in Britain until 1898. I read
Okay.
that wrong. When the barley corn based system was kicked out, metric system became the law of the land.
Right.
And then we allow the two systems to run in parallel over here in America. Though even as late as the turn of the century, 6% of American prescriptions were written in a metric system. So, in the thick of this, all these numbers and units, three medicines have been prescribed since the Middle Ages, always in grains: aspirin, codeine, and morphine. Right? The standard adult aspirin dose was 5 grains.
Okay.
I know, it's so crazy. Its metric
No, I
equivalent,
get it now.
324 milligrams, rounded off to 325. That remains the prescribed dose for analgesia today. I'll have more coffee. I'll be able to pronounce things. Low dose aspirin was a quarter of the standard dose, according to medical books, I guess.
Yeah.
Or 1.25
Effort.
grains, and that has remained unchanged until to this day. So a quarter of 340 milligrams, 24 milligrams, excuse me, is 81 milligrams. And so 81 is just a random number that comes from
Because
dividing
it was
324.
it was what, one and a half
Yeah,
was the number? Yeah, because that
1.25
right out to
grains.
milligrams is just a little different.
Right. So it's kind of like all of that. Now I'm a nerd and I love I love numbers and stats and all that. So hopefully that didn't go over too many people's heads. But I always I'm the type of person who wants to know why stuff is what it is. And
Yeah.
that was a good answer for me. Now, hopefully, if you're watching this
Yeah,
after
the
Ron uploads it.
measurement of what it used to be
Hmm.
equals 81 milligrams in the conversion.
Right.
And yeah, it's because it is weird when you first see it. Why is it 81? Why can't they
Yeah.
just make it 80 or 85? You know,
Yes. And I'm one of those
something.
people that I guess it doesn't
Simple.
have to be a round number, I guess. Like nothing really has to be, right? But we're so used to that.
Yeah,
And so
round it
all my
off.
life, I'm just the type of person who will look at a thing. I know a lot of people just take stuff and they don't care about it, and they're like, "Let somebody else worry about that." But I'm the type that has to know why things are the way they are. I'm very curious about random,
Yeah,
like that. So that is the answer to that. So if you're next time you take your low dose aspirin that you've been prescribed for heart issues or whatever, no, that's why. I actually thought it was for children's aspirin at first, but I guess it's more of a gentle way. There's a coagulation point for a specific amount of aspirin that you take daily that is
now
safe.
why is aspirin good for your heart? I don't understand that aspect either.
So for the most part, it's because the type of aspirin that Bayer is or St. Joseph's is or whatever actually thins blood out. So that's
Oh,
which
so it's a blood
everybody,
thinner. It's like a very small blood thinner that
right.
so
So
it
it's
doesn't get
but it doesn't
blocked.
thin the blood enough that you get you're hemophiliac over it.
Right, right.
If you take too much of it, it can thin your blood to the point where it's dangerous. So
Yeah.
this is enough to thin the blood out to get it to go through your arteries safely without making it too thin. And that's why what do you call it? When you I can't think of it right now. Why? I don't know. But when you come out of the doctor's office and they give you a prescription of, to me, it's the same kind of stuff. It's the chalky white aspirin that they give you. Anyway, I sound like an idiot, but that's because I've been reading all these words. But that's stuff for any kind of like swelling or when you're trying to heal from something, like when you have surgery. That's why they give you that, because it actually brings down like swelling and gets your blood flowing correctly and all that to heal whatever you had surgery for. So
Interesting.
anyway, yeah,
I love it. I love
fun,
it. That
medical
is
fun today, this morning. Like right
well,
into it.
I mean, a lot of these things, people actually should do more research on the things that they take.
I'm
You know.
annoying. Oh, I don't take anything that I don't like. I would never, because it's my body. I don't care what
Yeah.
doctor tells you you should have something or not have something, or do you sit down and just look up what people have already taken, or what side effects you may have, like just stuff like that. Not what there's a thing. There's a certain amount that these 2-minute commercials are supposed to tell you about a medication. Although most of those medications are like trials and things like that. But for the most part, to do extensive research on something that that you have to put in your body is a good idea.
I love I love when they have those medicine commercials on,
Yeah,
and what you're taking it for
it's always
is
better than
far
what you're gonna
less
get.
than the side effects you get
Yeah,
when it's like, oh, you're taking it to clear up your skin.
but you could
Okay, but you
die,
could die. You
or
could
your
die.
cataracts, or
It's like,
whatever.
do
Yeah,
I want massive stomach pains, diarrhea, or
exactly.
maybe death? No.
And so, like, it's weird to me. That's why when doctors don't like me. I've had alternative treatments more than once from stuff that was recommended to me that I was just like, why would I do that? And tell me what'll happen after I do that. Am I going to have to deal with some other thing that you do surgery on me for this, but then I spend the rest
Yeah.
of my life dealing with that? Like, I don't want to just do stuff because you tell me to. What else can I do? How else can we get around this thing? I'm not saying I do it with everything, but there are things that I've disagreed with that I don't want to
Yep.
do. So, and it's your body, your choice, right? So,
Absolutely.
anyway,
Absolutely.
Ron, tell us something nice and light and fluffy.
Okay, light and fluffy.
Yes.
Let's talk about today in music history,
Yay.
right?
Hmm.
Like, I was gonna do all history, and then I was like, you know what? Let's just do music. Let's just
I mean, all is a lot.
all is a lot, and
Mm.
that's why I kind of just said, all right, we're just gonna do music. So, truth be told, that's why I just did music.
Okay. And music is fun.
Because
It's
there was
always
a
fun.
lot happening. And it was all war, and destruction.
Yeah.
So music history,
Hmm.
um, as you know, season 2, episode 119, Flying Without Wings.
Hmm.
Ruben Studdard is part of that music
And is that
history.
Clay next to him?
That is
Okay.
Clay.
I knew Clay. I'm like, oh, that looks like Andrew McCarthy, but that's probably Clay because they look alike
Clay Aiken,
from that
yeah.
distance.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
kind of do
Yeah,
resemble
they
each
do.
other.
My old
All
crush
right,
from
so
high school.
music history in
Yeah.
2003.
Hmm.
Ruben just came off of the big victory over Clay Aiken.
American Idol. Yep.
I watched that season. That was a great season.
It
They were
was.
fantastic, by the way.
Yeah.
Both of them, right? So they both released singles the same week, which was really bad for, I think that shocked everybody when they just both released the songs, right?
Right.
Because it's not really fair to Ruben who won.
No, no, but at the end of the day, the show is the show,
Yes,
and the fans are the fans. It's a
right.
completely different thing. Although a lot of people do take it seriously.
Right. So this was the first time a new artist went straight to number one as an opener. And that did not go to Ruben. Ruben was number two.
Yeah, I remember.
He had Flying Without Wings. It went to number two the first week. Clay Aiken
Hmm.
ultimately won. His song, This Is the Night,
Hmm.
hit number one in its first week
Yeah.
to become the first new artist to do that, to go straight to number one. Now,
Hmm.
it made a little string of history. The previous winner, which is their best idol in my book, you know, uh, Kelly Clarkson,
Hmm.
went to number one in her second week.
Yeah.
But she ended up being the bigger artist after all of that,
And then we
obviously.
gotta love Jennifer Hudson. Oh, it's my girl.
Jennifer
My
Hudson
girl.
she's fantastic.
Yep.
Fantastic. So they released this as a double-sided single. At the time, vinyl was out. It was still there.
Yep.
And of course, I guess, like, I don't know if cassettes were still out.
Uh,
No,
we were into
or
no, we were
DVDs.
into CDs at that point. Yeah.
Yeah. So it was released with Bridge Over Troubled Water.
Hmm.
Now, the oh my god, I can't even think. The digital song only sold 30,000 copies. Only, but
Okay,
still,
because
right?
It is a lot. You have to remember we were transitioning media at that point.
Right.
I think.
So it only sold 30,000 copies. So I think more people really was trying to get Bridge Over Troubled Water,
Hmm.
because that's the song that really vaulted him,
Yeah.
on the season. And so Clay Aiken benefited from the double side. Now, season 3 comes along and Fantasia
Yeah.
won.
Hmm.
And this is where they started singing the same song, her and Diana DeGarmo.
Yep.
Diana.
I called her Diana, but
Um, they both sang I Believe in
yeah.
the finale, and Fantasia won, and her song was released with Chain of Fools and Summertime. So you got 3 songs
Yeah.
for Fantasia's number 1. She went directly to number 1. And then season 4, Carrie Underwood also went directly to number 1 with
Hmm.
Inside Your Heaven
Hmm.
on the and also was with Independence Day, that remake, which
Oh
is a
yeah,
great
yeah.
song too,
It is.
right? And then of course season 5, Taylor Hicks won and he went to number 1, Do I Make You Proud? The flip side, Taking It to the Streets is which what
Yeah.
everybody wanted because he was awesome in that,
Yeah.
you know?
Hmm.
So season 6 was Jordan Sparks. This is the
Yep.
first year they didn't release it with another song. It only made it to number 15.
Wow.
Big difference.
Yeah.
Jordan Sparks was great too.
She
Like
was.
she has a great voice. So all of that spawned from this day in 2003 with Clay Aiken hitting number 1,
Nice.
right away. First person to do it.
Hmm.
Other stuff.
Yes.
2010, Jake Holmes sued Led Zeppelin for plagiarism. Do you remember that? 1967 song Dazed and Confused.
I
Led
don't.
Zeppelin released it in 69 on their
Right.
album.
Okay. And a lot of these songs, I mean, if you're a Zeppelin fan at all, a lot of their songs are old R&B hits. They're a lot of black music, a lot of
Yeah,
gospel music, and a
yeah.
lot of the songs back then really were redone songs of somebody that had already released a song that didn't do well.
Elvis made a
So
living off of that.
absolutely, I try to tell people that all the time. You know,
Elvis has a fantastic voice.
yeah,
And when somebody makes a song and they don't go anywhere with it, Elvis says, "You know what? I can do it better." The
right,
whole Freddie Mercury thing, right? I can sing it better.
right. And you know what? There's two parts to it. On one hand, like Big Mama Thornton, should she have gotten
Right.
a better? I mean, she should have gotten a better, because her song was pretty good. I mean, it's not like, but
Oh no, it
there
was.
was a point in time where
It
there were
just
certain
didn't
people
do
that
well
just
on the
didn't get,
charts. It didn't sell.
yeah, they didn't get the accolades, and there were people that came forward and kept people from making money off of things like that.
Yeah.
Um, so it should have, in my opinion, or at least somebody like me, I will go look at the history of a song like that,
Yeah.
and it exposes the song. So I would hope that it would make the previous artists recognizable, or somebody. It would just make
Right.
it would cement that them in history, because the song is, I can't explain it, but you know what I
Yeah.
mean.
No,
Um,
I totally
However,
get it.
it can also be seen as stealing, so it's two sided.
Yeah, I
If
mean,
you
if you're doing it, if you're Vanilla Ice, that's wrong.
well, yeah, well, I know what you mean. Yes, I
You
understand.
know what I mean?
Um,
But
yeah,
when you
but
cover a
also,
song,
I mean,
it
copyright's
should be
copyright.
known.
So, right, right, and so if you look back at in my opinion, the probably the nicest version of that would be like Dolly Parton, who would say, you know what, uh, they would ask her for the song. Hey, how do you feel about this? Like, would Big Mama Thornton and older artists like that, old
Yeah,
blues
back in the
artists
day.
and stuff
Yeah.
like that. They weren't really consulted with, and that's not fair. And they
No.
also didn't make the money they should have. So I can
Right.
understand the point of that, and stuff like blurred lines and uh, you know Marvin Gaye's family going after Robin Thicke for that. Um, that's fair. There's enough underneath that
Yeah.
I mean I don't know, but so you
Right.
got to
It
be
should be
careful with that
done
stuff.
with class and dignity
Yes.
and, respect to the previous artist. And it should always be done like that. And
And I
we
think the
know,
artists should be involved. They should be
right.
asked
And
and all that.
oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, Sting is still making money off of Diddy.
Yeah. That's
Makes
that's
like
that's another
$2,000 a
thing.
day.
That's another thing. I mean, that's as recognize it gets to be so recognizable that it looks like the original is a copy.
Yeah.
And I love my sister, but there was a point in time where she and I've mentioned this before that she thought that Rick James copied MC Hammer, and I'm like, and I had to explain to her, no, no,
No.
no, Rick James,
Rick James
is
was
older than
awesome.
you are. I think Rick James was around like before you were born, and this
Yeah.
is his song. And I know that it sounds like that because you're hearing MC Hammer, as a kid, and
Yeah.
someday, in the future, you hear Rick James, you think, oh, what's this dude doing? But it didn't work that way. But it's a matter of
No.
how it gets marketed. So I don't know.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So they settled out of court, and now when they redo the albums and stuff like that, it reads Jimmy Page inspired by Jake Holmes.
Good. So
So
he should get the credit. He
he
should
should
definitely
get the
get the mark.
credit, but it
How do
shouldn't
you feel?
be.
I know that you're a
It
Huey
shouldn't be
Lewis and the News
inspired by
fan, Ron. How do you feel about Huey Lewis and the News and their lawsuit?
with Ghostbusters.
Yeah,
Oh, they were absolutely right.
yeah. I just wondered how you
I'm a
felt about it.
Huey Lewis and the News is my
Do you know
favorite
he
band.
was supposed to be? They plugged Ray Parker Jr. in there. That was supposed to be Huey Lewis that did that song.
Right.
And I don't know if you know that, but when the Ghostbusters movie came out, he was slated to do a song for that album, and he wanted to do something like "I Want a New Drug," and that was all his idea. And then
Yeah.
they embarked on a tour. They ended up on a tour where they couldn't do the song, so they called Ray Parker Jr. up and plugged him in, and they kept the bass line and they kept the
Yep.
song. And
Yep.
so not only was Huey Lewis, not only were they suing because it was a copy of their song, but literally it was their idea. And so that,
Yes.
they
Yes.
knew for sure that it was
Oh
not
yeah, and
made up
they
out of thin
won
air.
too in court.
They did.
They won.
Yeah, they definitely did. But I just wondered how you felt about that.
Oh no, I knew that.
I know
That
you
was
knew
like
that. That's
I
why.
still talk about it to this day.
Do you?
So I'm
Yeah.
actually glad you brought that up.
Yeah.
And this all kind of ties in because Huey Lewis in the News, and I'm so sorry that you know he can't sing anymore.
I
It's
know.
just a
I love
travesty.
him.
Oh my god, he's so good. I've seen them in concert like 7 times.
I've seen him a few times myself.
It's so good. Now they in the later years they started doing stuff like 4 chords and
Yeah.
several years ago, and
Hmm.
doing like the remakes of those older songs.
Yes.
But they have permission
Yeah.
because that's the stuff that they love,
Yeah.
and they decided to go in that direction rather than still doing mainstream rock and roll.
And they could afford it. I mean,
Right.
a lot of artists will take a song and redo it because they're trying to some degree to get seen and heard.
Yeah.
And artists like that do songs like Rod Stewart years later that did all those standards.
Right.
Those people don't need the money from it. It's really more of a
Right.
tribute to what they grew up with. So there's no shame in them saying, "Hey, can I do this?" And I don't think most artists would say no to that if they're asked
Right.
respectfully to do it.
Yes.
But the Little Bitty Pretty One is I still play that to this day.
Oh
I
my
play it all the
god, I
time.
love it.
So oh my
They're
god,
so good. I see
yeah. Here we go.
nobody out there really knows that song from Huey.
Yeah,
And
well
when
I
you
do.
start when
Yeah,
you go back and you listen to the old ones, it makes you feel better listening to those old ones
Yeah.
because now, hey, now Huey,
I
he
was at a
did these
club one
songs.
time, and early in the night, there's a whole bunch of stuff I'll play if I'm in a place where I'm like warming up a crowd, kind of like I work in restaurants, and sometimes restaurants will flow over to like a dance floor, but like there's this period of time where people are just drinking and hanging because you want to. It's a business thing for a DJ. If you know a club owner and you want to talk to them about business, it's basically a matter of you have a crowd that's eating a dinner and they're going to leave. You want to keep them for 2 rounds of drinks. That's basically what
Yeah.
that is. And
Yes.
so that's one of those standards like All Right Now by Free and things like that that I'll play before I go into the dance sets. And I had a person come up to me one night mad because I was playing Huey Lewis and it's not oh wait a minute. I want to it's not he did an It's All Right too by J.J.
Yes.
Abrams. He did a
Yep.
few of them. But anyway, somebody came up to me and got mad at me that I was playing Little Bitty Pretty One because they thought I was actually playing a song from the 60s. And I had to tell them, I don't know what you think you're listening to, but this is like Huey Lewis. What? Hey, listen, we're not that old in here. I don't know what you're playing that for. And I'm like, because it's a great tune. It doesn't have anything to do with. But they'd
Yeah.
actually thought that I was playing 60s music because that's how good it sounds. That's how good it sounds.
That's
Yeah.
some people have closed minds, and I'm someone that can really
Yeah.
pretty much listen to anything.
Yeah, me too. I may have to.
You know,
I have to.
yeah.
So, and
So
New Edition at one time did a whole. And this was probably once they were 2 albums in or something. And they did a whole like album of like crooner stuff from
yeah.
the late 50s and early 60s. And if anybody has a chance to grab that album, get it. It's got like Earth Angel and things like that on it. It's really cool.
Well,
So
New
I love
Edition
stuff
has
like that.
a lot of talent there.
They do.
You
Those
know,
are our boys. I call them our boys.
yeah, those.
Yeah.
I mean, they've all gone on to do great things. So,
Yep.
look, Butterfly Kisses. Do you remember Bob Carlyle?
Of course I do. I played it so much. I can't even tell you. I'm
Yeah.
I'm in country radio, so we got
Yeah.
inundated with
So,
that song.
Butterfly Kisses was the first Christian album to hit #1 on the Billboard chart. First one.
Wow.
Christian album. Do you remember Gigi Allen
Yes.
or Allen? Is it Allen?
ALIN. Right?
ALLIN, I believe.
Oh, ALIN. GG Allen. I can't remember the song, but I remember the artist.
Well, he died of a heroin overdose following a
Mhm.
concert and dozens of threats to kill himself. And he finally did it with heroin.
Okay.
That was in 1993.
Wow. Okay.
So there's some tragic, but 1975, David Bowie releases Fame, and
Mhm.
it goes on to be his first #1 hit. I did not know this.
What?
John Lennon was doing the backup vocals.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. You can't hear it.
Well, I never really thought
Oh,
to
yeah.
put
You
the
never
two
really.
together.
Yeah.
And then I'm thinking, and I'm like, wow, I gotta re-listen to this song.
Yeah.
And then you hear it clear as day.
You gotta. I gotta say, somebody mentioned something to me the other day about that. I gotta say, we did not deserve David Bowie. David Bowie was an amazing person. Just in that he advocated for other people, just in that he wanted inclusivity. You probably know David Bowie was the one that got Michael Jackson and everybody else onto MTV. You know,
Yeah.
and David Bowie was just like, he sat down and he was like, "What the hell is wrong with this channel? What the hell? How can you not like, you know, we don't do this in England. What the hell's wrong with you people?"
Yeah.
It was because of him that like Michael Jackson got although him and some of Michael Jackson's management staff that got black artists played on MTV. Like that wasn't a thing
Yeah.
in the early 80s.
Yeah, there was no such thing as MTV Raps.
Yeah, all of that. None of that.
At
It
the
was
beginning.
they
It
didn't
was all
actually
rock
have enough.
music.
It was
And the Bugles.
well,
Rock and the Bugles.
yeah. I mean, it definitely had. I think that we watched so much. I mean, a lot of European stuff started getting played on that channel early on because people in Europe actually did videos. I mean, a lot of
Yeah,
American artists didn't do them, and so they were like, "What are we gonna do? We can't play the same, we can't play Talking Heads over and over again in one David
but
Lee
you
Roth
could.
video." They
You
could, but
could.
like there wasn't enough for them to have a rotation, so they pulled in a lot of that stuff, that new wave stuff that came through, like Iran and like all that kind of stuff that came over
Yeah,
from Europe, got pulled in there just to kind of like fill gaps. But
yeah.
it's kind of interesting.
I think that's how those bands made a living because it was shown so much
Yeah,
on MTV at the beginning,
yeah. I mean,
and
so
then
many
it kind
British
of changed.
artists.
You know, after all these black artists started going on there, then that
Yep.
changed
I mean,
everything.
look at Aha. That wasn't a band. That wasn't a band from the U.S.
No,
Typically that wasn't a band that was like big in the U.S. It only became big in the U.S. from MTV exposure.
right?
You
Because
know.
they used to have those the world premieres,
Yeah.
and everybody would
Yes.
watch and wait. And then when you hear "Aha" and you see the video, you're hooked.
Yeah. I can't believe it's crazy. It's so weird to me that it. I mean, it eventually became like a passe thing, and nobody watched videos anymore. But I can't. It still amazes me how crazy we were about that, where we just never got up from the floor. We just or to a couch or
I've
whatever.
been I've been so in tune to this conversation that I
Yeah.
didn't even notice that Becky's been commenting.
Oh.
Good morning, Becky.
Yes. Good morning, Becky. She's a huge Led Zeppelin fan. Well, Becky and I are gonna have to talk Led Zeppelin.
That's how
I
that's how
hope, Becky,
deep
that
into
you
this
have seen.
conversation.
I hope you have seen the Led Zeppelin documentary. If not, I can't speak to you. You must go watch it. I'm sure she has though, because it
Led
was
Zeppelin
really
was
good.
fantastic. Oh,
Yeah, there's a nice Led Zeppelin documentary right now on Netflix, and it is amazing. So
and I do have "Stairway to Heaven" as one of the top 10 songs of all time.
yeah, no stairway denied. Every time somebody says stairway, I have to do
That's
that.
a great song because I love the changes. I love songs that have changes in the song and it doesn't compromise the song. You
They
know
did
what
a
I'm
lot of
saying?
that. They did a lot of
Yeah.
that. You
Oh,
know,
absolutely.
and
Absolutely.
they did it well. For the time.
All right. Yeah, so we'll move on. There's so many more, but um
I know.
it's already getting late. So let's
Oh
talk about
boy.
the Wolves.
Ah, woo! Look at that wolf. It's beautiful.
It
That's
is.
very
We've
nice,
talked about
and it's
Wolves
safe.
several times on this show in the
Okay,
past year. Several times.
so it's probably something that you guys have already covered
I don't
before.
know.
I don't know.
There's a lot.
But I'm going to tell you guys the myth of the alpha wolf, which you've probably heard. No?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I do a lot. I watch a lot of animal stuff and we do a
Okay.
lot of animal stories, so
Okay.
I'm familiar.
This is kind of an animal story that became pop nonsense. But it's the myth of the alpha wolf, right? In 1947, Rudolf Schenkel, you've heard of him.
Yep.
Okay. So he was a Swiss animal behaviorist. So he published a study on wolf social behavior using wolves, keeping them in captivity at the Basel Zoo, right?
Right.
So his paper described a dominance hierarchy with an alpha male and female, right? Based on observed aggression in social structures in that captive group. However, there was a key issue here that people seem to disregard, and that is that these wolves were not family packs. They were rather an unrelated individuals forced to coexist in an
Mm-hmm.
unnatural, stressful environment because they're not supposed to be in captivity. Let's be honest.
Right.
That skewed their behavior massively. So everything that he studied and learned typically wouldn't have been a feral observation. So later, a renowned wolf researcher, Dr. David Meck, right, pronounced Meech, actually. I call it Meck, but it's Meech, who helped popularize the alpha concept in the 1970s. Because he came off of that study and decided that he would extend that study out. And then at some point, he recanted the term alpha after studying years of studying wolves in the wild. And in his long-term studies of wild wolf packs, Meach found that natural packs are usually families, parents, and offspring, and that leadership is based more on parenting roles than on dominance struggles. So, in fact, in 2000, he published a paper and has repeatedly said that the term alpha is inaccurate and outdated when referring to natural wolf behavior. Uh, However, in pop psychology, toxic masculinity branding, dating coaches, and macho marketing, like people latched onto this term. It
Of
is
course.
ridiculous. We cannot get rid of it. And people still use it in conversation. And now they're throwing a bunch of more Greek alphabet letters in, like beta and theta and
Yeah, because people like to
sigma.
villainize.
Well, they like to categorize too. People love to
Yeah,
put people in
it's like
boxes.
you're villainizing the alpha is basically what they do,
Right.
because it's like a bully, basically,
Kind of, but
you know,
there's
leader of the pack.
right. But there are people that think alpha is something to look up to or to respect or to whatever. And they like to tell stories about themselves, and that's how people are. So it's catchy, it's simplistic, and it feels primal, even if it's not right. Typically, we can't shake it. So this myth lives on in the memes, and as this post, as most people, lament in online dating profiles and things like that. And I see it all the time as somebody who's single and dating. I see alpha in profiles all the time, and I kind of have to like chuckle when I see it. Like, oh boy, just the use of it gives me some type of an idea who I'm dealing with, and decide not I don't want to be bothered. All right, so the takeaway of this is the original alpha wolf theory wasn't fake science, but it was flawed and misapplied science. And the guy who helped spread it later also then decided it was wrong and then tried to help to debunk it. Um, and if you are calling yourself an alpha based on wolf packs, it's about as accurate as calling yourself a T-Rex based on chicken behavior. And there you go.
Ooh. Yeah, because like I mean, if it's a family of wolves,
Yeah.
you got one wolf that is teaching its young
Yes.
what to do. It's nothing more than teaching,
Right.
as opposed to somebody dominating the group.
Right. Right. So wolves, if they're traveling, I believe, and again, I don't study this, so don't come for me because I'm not going to describe this accurately probably. But when they're traveling, I believe they travel in packs of where there are the stronger wolves on the outside of the pack to create a sense of boundary so that they can be safe in traveling, especially with the children
Yeah, because
or
they
with the
know
pups.
what they're doing.
Right.
It's all their
But
behavior from generations of wolves.
right. But when they're settled into where they need to live or they want to live, it's really a little families that are little satellite families of mother, dad, and personally, I think the alpha in the little family is probably the mother. And if you
See,
have a dog, anybody that has a
and that's
dog,
the case in
the
most
females
animals, by the
run
way.
everything. Yes.
The
Yeah.
females in almost every animal species.
Yes. The males are the ones that
So,
actually are the ones that look. This is what I've always said. Listen, as a woman, if we're dating, I think men they should look pretty and they should dance around for us, and we should decide whether or not we pick one, just like every other species does, right? That's how it technically happens. If you watch a lot of like National Geographic and things like that, the
yeah, you're
women
right.
pick the men. The men
Birds,
show
monkeys,
up
they
and
all do it.
they peacock. The word peacock specifically, the males are the ones that are, and even lions. All of the males are the ones that are like good looking and well. They're the ones that have all of the presentation going on,
Yeah.
and the females are just kind of like real plain, right?
Yeah, because like the bird population, the males have all the colors.
Yeah, because they're the
And
ones that the
the
women have to choose
females are
from, and
just kind of
they
like
have to
plain.
impress. Yes.
Yeah, you're right.
So if we could only get the human species to do that, I would be delighted. I'd be delighted. I think a bunch of women, we can all sit at a bar somewhere, and watch men go by and go, oh, nope, not you. Goodbye.
Well, they have
Not
those
you.
kind of bars too.
Well, that's true. Anyway,
You can find anything in humans.
that's true. That's true.
All right. I see. I love animals.
Yeah,
I I I love them more than people, to be honest with you.
I do too. I really do.
I don't see. I don't find animals ever disappoint. Right?
I also find
They
that they
don't.
don't have, like, animals don't have pretense because they have no interest in trying to deceive anything for any reason. They're not,
Right.
with the exception of aposematism, like, hey, I'm bright orange because I have poison in me. Tree, please don't kill me. Where
Right.
another animal, gets thrown off by something, that doesn't look right because they're trying to like not be killed. But other than that, most animals aren't very, they're
No.
not very whatever. But anyway,
That's why I love the animals.
yeah.
I love animals.
Yeah.
All right. We're almost out of here. So we gotta run through these celebrity birthdays.
Okay.
So I did this a lot with Kenny, and we always pick our favorite at the end. So it's almost like a game. And
Okay.
those of you who are at home watching, please put down your favorite of all these celebrity birthdays. Right now, this list is a mile long on a normal day. Right.
Oh, good lord,
But I
probably.
pick out the best ones of all of those birthdays.
Okay.
And Lana, you have to decide which one is your favorite of
Okay.
all of these. All right, so I'll try to do it quickly. Richard Rogers, the composer, Sound of Music, Oklahoma, that whole bit. Rogers and Hammerstein,
Yes.
his birthday today. Do you remember Fred the Baker from Dunkin' Donuts?
Yeah, of course.
Michael Vale, his birthday is today. Passed away 2005.
Oh, he would have had to. Yeah. I remember him in the 70s.
Yes, absolutely. Junior Johnson, NASCAR Hall of Fame, won the Daytona 500 in 1960. David Frankie Toller, drummer for the Allman Brothers.
Okay.
And Mark Sterner, bass player for the Killers. The Killers are one of my favorite bands in the 2000s.
Okay. Aughts. In the aughts. Yeah.
In the
Yeah.
aughts. Is that what it is? Aughts?
The aughts. Yeah.
But I love the Killers. Love them. I think it's a great band.
It is.
Okay, John Watts, the director of all these Spider-Man movies now.
Okay.
John Watts. He's only 44 years old.
Nice.
So he started in 2017 doing Spider-Man. So
Okay.
that's only 8 years ago. He was 36 years old directing Spider-Man.
That's fair.
What the hell?
That's good for
Wow.
your 30s.
Yeah, no kidding. Could you
Yeah.
imagine? Gilda Radner, SNL alum. She was hilarious.
So, if you were a big fan of Saturday Night Live from the first season, obviously, and she was on that first season, you remember that video of John Belushi that he did, that short where he was the only one left and everyone else had died.
Yeah.
And how,
Yeah.
it kind of went in the other direction where he was the first one to go.
Yeah, it did.
But anyway, yeah, I know she died shortly after that. I think she might have been the
Yeah,
second
she
one to
did.
go. And she
It was
died
too bad.
of cancer. Yeah.
See, now I remember her being on a kids show. She played some alien.
Maybe.
And I think it was with Jim Neighbors.
Okay.
Now,
that's interesting.
I remember this vividly.
Okay. I
couldn't remember the show name. And then it hit me as like Far Out Space Nuts.
I don't remember that. I don't remember that.
And I don't expect you to. It was only
Right.
one season.
Right.
And it was on the Banana Splits. They aired it on the Banana Splits.
Oh, okay. All right.
And I went to look it up. It wasn't the two people that I thought it was all these years. It was not Jim Neighbors and Gilda Radner.
Okay.
She was never on the show, but I swear
Oh.
that everything
The
that
Mandela
was her
effect.
on the show.
You having the Mandela effect happening?
And it is absolutely 100% Mandela effect because
Yeah.
nowhere in the credits of anything. She was never in that show.
So who was
I
it?
remember
You
it
can tell me who it
vividly,
was
like
now?
it happened yesterday.
Who actually was then?
I don't remember the female, but the guy was Bob Denver.
Oh wow, that's not even close to Jim Neighbors.
No, no, it's not. And I
Huh.
didn't ever even heard of the female.
Wow,
Never even heard of her.
interesting. What your
I'm
brain
I'm
does when you're a kid.
stunned, and I feel like my childhood is broken. All right. Anyway, Mary Stuart Masterson.
Yep.
I loved her, and I
Yeah.
loved that movie. Some Kind of Wonderful. Loved it.
Yeah.
Loved it.
Yeah. She
Uh,
was in a movie with, I remember it was Glenn Close and God bless us in Rhode Island. James Woods was in this. And I say that
don't
because
like
he's
don't like James
become a
Woods.
character lately. No, not with some of the extracurricular stuff he does. Um, yeah, I just think he's a little bit of a conspiracy theorist these days. But she was in that as they were a couple that were. What was the name of this movie? They were a couple that was looking for. They couldn't get pregnant, and they were looking for a surrogate. And Mary Stuart Masterson was
Was the
somebody that
surrogate?
they took as just a surrogate. It's a really good movie. But they used the song "Into the Mystic" by um, ah, Van Morrison.
Yes, Van Morrison.
And it was just I don't know if you ever get a chance to see it. It's an old movie. It's like from the
I'll
late
have to check it out.
80s or whatever, but it's a
I
really good movie.
probably saw it.
Yeah, you probably did. It's one of those
I
movies that
probably
everybody
saw it.
kind of saw. It
I
was
don't
an
remember it
HBO
at all.
movie and everybody watched it and then they
Yeah.
forgot about it. But it's a really good film. Anyway,
Yeah. So she's 59. She's my
okay.
age now.
She's older than me. I never knew that.
Kelly Pickler. Remember Kelly Pickler?
Yes.
American Idol.
Of course I do. Yep.
She's also a host of a TV show or something. I don't know.
She's probably on CMT, I'm sure.
Yeah, probably. Then it really gets big from there. It's
Uh-oh.
big. Like, you think those are good?
Okay.
John Elway, quarterback, Denver Broncos, 65 years old.
Okay.
John Cusack.
Ooh.
Everybody knows John Cusack. That movie,
Yeah.
Better Off Dead, was absolutely incredible. I loved it. I want my $2. 59 years old, also my age.
Well, him and Mary Stuart Masterson were born on the same day of the same year.
They were born in the same day.
Wow.
In the same year.
I wonder if they've ever had a conversation about that. I bet you they did.
I don't know, but they should.
Yeah, they should. Wow.
All right. It gets better.
Okay.
After this one, it'll get better. Elon Musk is 54 years old today. I think you've heard of him.
I slightly have. I had a friend who worked for him at SpaceX years ago.
Yeah. SpaceX is doing so well right now.
Oh yeah,
everything's blowing up.
Honest to God, are you watching the news where stuff's just falling out of the sky and going through people's houses?
Yeah,
I don't know if that's what it is, or if it's Starlink or not, or whatever it is, or meteors or something. But stuff's falling out of the sky right now.
SpaceX is having a rough go of it right now.
Yeah.
Okay, so how about Mel Brooks?
Okay.
Mel Brooks?
Yeah.
Birthday. He's 99 years old. Mel Brooks.
Did he die? He's still alive?
He's still alive.
Okay.
He's still going. He's still kicking. 99 years old. He's trying to get to 100.
Well, let's hope he does. Betty White didn't make it. Betty White didn't make it. Let's hope he does.
Yeah, let's hope he does. Kathy Bates.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, Misery, one of the best. Oh, my gosh.
She's been in a million things. She has been... I can't
actress.
even begin to tell you how many films that she's in and I love. She's so good.
She's a great actress. Hey, she's in The Water Boy.
She's in The Water Boy. She's in... there's a movie I love called The Boss. I don't know if you've ever seen it.
Okay.
She's in The Boss. She plays the girl that like Melissa McCarthy's character is supposed to be looked up to or whatever. She's so good. And she was in that... She was in another Stephen King movie. Yeah, she's in a bunch of them.
She's fantastic. And last, but certainly not least, Noriyuki Morita. Who is that, you ask? That is Pat Morita.
Oh, okay.
Daniel's son.
Yeah.
Wax on, wax off.
The last
Well,
name,
Pat
actually, I heard the
Morita,
last name and
Mr.
I'm like, I
Miyagi.
wonder if this is Pat. Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh.
Pat Morita, born 1932, died 2005. Boy, 2005 must have been a really bad year. We lost Fred DeBaker and Pat Morita.
I think we lost a lot more than that in
No, I'm sure
2005.
there was a lot more than that. But, you
Yeah.
know, out of the birthdays on this day.
Yeah.
So those are the birthdays, Lena.
Hmm.
Who is your favorite on that list? That's a tough list.
So I have to go with I probably have to go with Kathy Bates. And by the way, I forgot to mention Bad Santa 2. She was
Wait, there was a
she was
second
so
one?
great in that. Yes.
I didn't know there was a
There's a
second one.
second Bad Santa and it's hilarious and she plays his mother. Oh, you got to she's so
Oh my
good.
god, I gotta go. I gotta see that because Bad
Oh my
Santa I thought
god.
was hilarious.
Bad Santa
Oh
is
my god.
great. I can't believe I don't know how you missed that, but yeah.
I did not know there was a two.
She
Did not
plays
know.
like an ex-con, like I mean she's so good. Oh my god. You got to let me know
So
what happens on that.
this
Yes.
is such a tough one, and Kathy Bates is a great choice.
Yeah.
And I love Kathy Bates. Um, but I have to go with Mr. Miyagi. I have to.
Okay.
Pat Morita, loved them on Happy Days.
Yeah. I remember. I remember.
Loved
Yeah.
them. So I'm
Happy
going
days.
with Pat Morita. You got Kathy Bates.
Yeah.
Both great choices.
Mine's better though.
Kathy
No, I'm just
Bates was
kidding.
definitely one of my ones that I was tossing around.
Oh yeah. Well,
You
wait, you
know,
see Bad Sandal too. You might change your mind on that. Like you should go watch it. You don't watch it right now. Watch it today. It's hilarious.
I gotta
Hilarious.
wait until I'm back to bees.
Oh, you're on the alphabet thing. Okay. All right.
I gotta do K next.
California. Sorry. That
Yeah,
should
I
be your
don't know.
choice.
I haven't picked the K
Yeah.
movie yet,
I was
so
just
it could
giving you
be
a
anything.
suggestion.
Oh, I will keep that in mind.
Okay.
So that's basically it for today. Lena, this was fun.
It
This
was
was
fun.
fun. Now I know why Ira always loves going on Saturdays.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, because I'm so wonderful. No.
Yes.
No. I would never say
Yes.
that about myself.
Fun.
That's not my personality. But I
So
appreciate it. Look, there's my Dave Matthews shirt.
Oh, I love Dave Matthews. Oh my God.
Do you know how many of these shirts
So
I
good.
have from like every friggin' show he's come through and done? I buy one. Yeah.
He had an album like about 2, 3 years ago.
He has one
I
every
didn't really
two,
care
3
for it.
years.
I didn't care for that one.
Really?
Only a couple of songs I liked.
He it's so funny because if you're a fan and you go to his shows all the time, he always plays his newer stuff, and so you feel like a student, like you got to study. So you got to go through. Oh my God, did he put out any new albums like that I haven't been paying attention to? And then right before show, you see like a couple of months before you see he put out one out, and you're like, I got to learn a new one because he comes out and he usually does his newer stuff.
Yeah.
There's like no way he does his. He'll do it. He'll do Satellite. And he'll do Ants Marching. And do a couple things, and then
Yeah.
he'll launch into. But yeah, I actually liked. I don't know which album you're talking about because he did a couple. He does a lot.
I'll
He's
have
got
to
nothing
look.
better to do but crank albums out. So he puts a lot of stuff out. He really does.
I'm gonna have to check it out because
I
there
don't.
was
Yeah.
one album that I wasn't too thrilled about.
I mean, I don't know. There have been a couple like that for me, but there's always a couple really good tunes that I'm like, you know what? I'll let it go. I'll let it go. There's always something on each album,
Hey,
or at least.
Chakra's in the house. Howdy, Chakra.
Yeah.
Seattle born, so he knows about good music out there in Seattle.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
he sees a lot of that good stuff out there too.
I bet.
Chakra watches us on Twitch.
Oh, very nice. Very nice.
So thank you, Chakra_power.
Oh, look at that. So now everybody, like tomorrow is a show, a
There is a
Sunday
show
show.
tomorrow. Yes, so tomorrow, our first ever Sunday show.
Mm-hmm.
Kenny back after 2 weeks. He works in a job for the school department, and now they have switched his hours, so he can't do during the week.
Mhm.
So, and because I don't want to lose Kenny from the show,
I know you
I'm
don't.
doing a show on Sundays with Kenny, and that ought to be pretty fun. So tune in tomorrow, where it is me and Kenny back at it again. 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, 8 a.m. Alberta, Canada time.
Mhm.
So watch that tomorrow morning, and Monday Chuck will be back. I don't know with who yet. Could be me or Becky.
Okay.
I don't know.
Somebody outside your
So
house is making a lot of noise with the motorcycle.
yeah, some guy on a motorcycle.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But I had a great time.
Yeah, it
I
was
hope
fun.
everybody enjoyed the show. And
Good
it's time for us
Saturday.
to head out. Have a great day, everybody.
Have a good Saturday. See you soon.